I'm doing this video because I'm hoping to find the right type of support, and then I can share this video with them. Exposing the YouTube, my experience for the first time using it in 5 years. So I want to do flashcards as well, if I can. If I can do some flashcards, I will be using some plain paper here. So YouTube and Facebook, that should say, do not log in, do not use us if you are disabled. Okay. Do not use us as a service user if you are fat and unattractive. This is fat. I could do with some more light, it's very dim. Do not use us if you are truly happy and you just survived death. You're so happy that you're alive and you have true emotions. Do not use us if you're happy. So this is going to be my lawsuit. Rather than going for I'll hopefully find discrimination, and also how social media has scammed me. It's not meant for me. But I will do one and only video, and I'm going to use that video in the public to say this is how many times I have been flogged and beaten up for using fair community standards. And they force you to put your phone number in there, your email in there, which is sensitive information, and then you are hacked and your privacy is invaded because you're poor. You have no defense in poverty. You would have defense if you're not on low income. So do not use us if you are unemployed, on low income, unemployed. Yeah, I'm just filling up that list there. Do not use us if you are, if you're bossy. Yeah. So you're not allowed to be bossy. You're not allowed to shout or raise your voice being unemployed. You're not allowed to have any confidence. You have to speak like a child. You have to squeak like a mouse. You're not allowed to be you. In this category, you're not allowed to have confidence. You're not allowed to have determination. You're not allowed to have self-esteem. You're not allowed to be bossy. In other words, you're not allowed to be a manager of anything, which is extremely dangerous. You're not allowed to use us if you are a non-criminal. You've never committed crime. You're a law-abiding citizen. Don't use us. Don't switch on, switch off. That's what I'm going to do exactly. I'm just going to use this device for my food shopping and probably be attacked by a terrorist. I'm already attacked by terrorists from London. As soon as this device is already corrupted, I'm going to explain what's happened without mentioning any names, but I know exactly where it's coming from. Or should I mention their names to shame them? I don't know. The Bible will help me discover what to do next. If you're a peacemaker and you want to help your friends without harming them or without using them for making profit out of their suffering, do not use us. Do not log into Facebook or YouTube in that case. If you happen to have more of a brown skin, it's also racist. And you're poor, do not use us. If you are blessed, you only use us if you're cursed. Do not use us if you are expecting privacy. In poverty, you cannot have privacy. Do not use us if you are not tough. Very, very tough. Almost as if you're constipated. Not allowed to be soft. In the sense, you're not allowed to say pee off and poop and F. But if you do, you're frustrated and will frustrate you even more so. So in other words, if you're not frustrated, we will make you frustrated. And if you don't want bad stress, do not log in. So in other words, if you're sick, if you have sickness and diarrhea, do not use us for therapy. If your personality is too young or too old, do not use us. Because you could be accused of having a wrong personality. And so this is all the reasons why not to use social media. It will endanger us and make us go further into the desert, into the wilderness for rubbish. And it's a tool for a tyrant. Time and time again, I've been saying, God, I've been at the death door. I don't need to go to court cases. And they are already profiting from my suffering. In the sense, and also what they're doing is cyberbullies are talking with my housing official they shouldn't be doing. So if you're not a homeowner and you're not a leaseholder, do not use it because they will overpower and overtake you and find out information with a wrong approach for your home address with this piece of equipment that I'm using here. And now I'm stuck because I'm planning to pay for the contract for my new internet broadband connection, but there's something worse than the suspicious websites, and that is the people I've subscribed to, because they are misrepresenting me, they are disrespecting me, and they are causing trouble for me because they're saying I'm childish, I'm irresponsible, and at the same time they're invading my privacy, which is extremely scary. As a result, I don't feel too good. I feel very sick as a result. The immense problems and at the death door. Yep, at the death door. I respect somebody as a family member if I know that it's not going to be about the money. It's about the respect. Since I know it is about the money and the court cases, it's not about respecting me, who I am. And this is the trap. This is the trick. it's a wrong approach. It's disrespectful. And I don't have any defense. So the egomaniacs from the altar, from the main gate, and if I find an old friend on my social media, that old friend, yeah, could be related. Or it could be a pest, not related at all. That's what I felt about an old friend that I felt was very wise because he was old. But he wasn't wise, he was a fool. I just want someone to have mutual respect for me, not somebody crazy. And it is crazy. You don't expect them to jump out of the TV box or the mobile phone device. You don't expect their face and their body to pop up at your front door, at your window, and at your housing officials' meetings. And that to me is a threat. And also, if I don't admire a misogynistic man enough, probably wants to sleep with me, that's also a threat. And so why would I want to use it when I'm being devastated by these Scrooges who are saying that they will only tolerate me if I admire a man, but no man's going to love me with these categories I've mentioned, and I would have to go along with everything he wants according to the Bible witness. And if I don't go along with everything he wants, he will put me down like an animal that's going to be put down at the vets. Put you out of your misery. It's a slap in my face, actually. And I should not admit that a man would want to slap my face. So it's a tool for a tyrant for domestic abuse, for attacking my stomach, disemboweling me, or if I was a single mum, abandoned by the child's father, somebody on YouTube could want to make me lose my baby because they won't tolerate that kind of stuff of a single. They're saying, oh, you're not strong enough to have a baby, so he would make the woman lose the baby. And that's extremely scary. And they're boasting and bragging about the fact that they can do what they like. And that to me is crazy. I've started my channel and I have to finish my channel by doing this video and subscribing to my own channel. After I felt I had 30 or 40 lashes beaten up by some Roman officials, so Catholic. But as if it isn't the Catholics that had beaten me up, then it's somebody from the Parliament. Because I subscribed to Catholics, to Parliament, and to a solicitor. I'm not mentioning any names, I'm just mentioning their titles. I had not subscribed to a celebrity. But it's very hard because I can't travel anywhere, not have any holidays. So it's another therapy for me that I could see beautiful videos and just relax. Instead, it has made me risk my life and endangered me, betrayed by the very ones that I felt were as a family because of the disrespect. And they know, so they disrespect me because they know I'm a lone survivor, which is strange, it's crazy. And they also disrespect me because they know that I'm in poverty, so therefore my defense is not strong. Defense. They're saying that God is nobody and that God is not strong. So this type of personality is extremely dangerous. To say that you need to have life insurance to be strong. You need to have lots of money and lots of friends and family to be strong. You can't be a lone survivor. And you can't ever have any self-defense alone. So this is how they disrespect me. I'm saying I can, and I have been. Even when I'm weak, God made me strong. Never give up. Even when I was lonely, God was my strength. Even when I was without sleep, or missed a meal and didn't have enough food, I had to eat the same thing, like pig slop, I felt loved by God. And I know that even if I die and I'm blasted by a cold storm, naked to the weather, in a storm, with my clothing sinking me under the ocean, even then, to the point of death, I know that I have my life insurance, who is God the Creator Almighty. I haven't lost anything, and I don't believe these philosophers. It's interesting. I like to know what the philosophers say. However, I don't agree with them. They've immersed themselves in deep emotions that are not true to themselves, to say that you are not what you think. I don't agree with that. That's wrong. So when I say to the tyrant or to the bully, my reality is not what you think. My reality is not about you. It's about me and God. My reality is about me and my loved ones, for mutual respect, what I have survived, and against all odds. So even when I'm weak, God is my strength, and my joy in God is my strength. That's not being childish. It's just being happy that I'm alive when I was so close to death so many times. I wanted to die. God helped me to live and give me a reason to live, so that I no longer wanted to die. And I never did self-harm. So they begrudge me my food. They want me to work harder for my food, for my rest, for my medicine. They're always watching me. So they will decide if I am well enough to move home, as if I don't know what's good for me. So this is how being flogged and beaten up. They're being robbed of my civil rights and my freedoms. It's a very anxious time, but again, with God takes away my fears and removes my fears, because I'm struggling with the enemy, and I've identified who the enemy is now. I find it difficult with friends, and I find it difficult with the enemy, and I've identified it. Yeah, I'll keep that to myself. I won't publicize that. I'll just give a little clue. The enemy is extremely fast, but will occasionally be... it starts off extremely fast and sometimes silly, but it becomes extremely serious and slow. That's an enemy. Compared to a friend who is extremely slow, extremely serious, that wants to speed up the processes as a friend. In other words, is a type of a dinosaur. But the enemy is the dragon. Yep. So these anxieties and these fears I give to God. And I give my frustrations and anger to God. I'm not allowed to be angry. Not allowed. Not even positive, healthy anger. After being provoked so many times for human rights abuses. So human rights abuses, which made me realize that I have no defense. I'm betrayed and destroyed 10 times over again. So human rights abuses. That's number one. What is frustrating and angry. And the fear, the anxiety is coming from my civil rights are being removed. So freedoms, no freedom. They would probably give me a rope to commit suicide. Thanks for nothing. So nope, I would not do that. And so many churches only do charity or anything like that for money. Nobody nowadays will do anything voluntarily. Probably they don't exist. So these two factors that is endangering me, I have said, frustration in anger, constantly being provoked without having the human right, and also the fear factor. Because I've subscribed to somebody who wanted to do something very bad to me. It's very scary. So I'm saying all of these things, talking out about the egomaniacs who are in the definition of the enemy. Yep. And it is embarrassing what these egomaniacs say, that they are embarrassed of me. Shame. Embarrass. Shame. They're intolerant. And they're also hypocritical, because they wouldn't like to have happen to them what's happening to me, and they don't like it when I'm good. That means I hadn't committed any crime, and I don't make somebody else afraid, and I don't go and abuse anybody else. So I've embarrassed them that I'm no criminal, so no crime. So they expected me to be somebody crazy, mad, or criminal. And since I'm not, they're embarrassed. Or they feel inadequate. because they themselves are doing the bad things. So I'll just say, no crime, no bad guy. Not a bad guy. However, when God returns evil for evil, then I will have my justice. Even if it means I'm again at the death door. The justice to me means love of God and being set free from this body of pain and persecution. Yep, so they've only made matters worse as a result. They started, if you cannot trust them in small matters, cannot trust them in big matters. So it's a trust issue. Can I trust you? Are you a bad guy? The answer is yes. If he or she are embarrassed of me and my situation and had realized that they are invading my privacy and now they want to blame me or punish me for being disabled and punish me for the fact that they are invading me. And so, yeah, and also that I'm good. I said thank you. I was grateful to them. So they want to punish me for my thanks, punish me for my disability. That means they don't want me to be anybody special. Special? What was that? A fly just came in, the windows are open, and they also want to punish me for something else that they've made up. So some rule that they've got some rules, and they want to steal from the blind people, they want to steal from the disabled people, they want to steal our freedoms, and they're constantly observing who is popular, who is not popular. So I'm being punished for not being popular, not being a socialist, not kicking a football, and not shouting very loudly and playing around. So I'm not playful, I'm not sexual. Yeah. I feel cold. I'm devastated. I have pain, desperate pain. It feels like a broken bone. And that they have forced sin and rebellion against me for me to be so stressed out that there's a fire burning inside my gut. In other words, when you have so much bad stress and so much accusations because of the withheld anger, which is even more dangerous than bad type of anger. I don't have bad type of anger. And I just say thank you to God for taking that bad anger away from me. And if I do have good anger, they hate me even more for being upright. So the enemy, who is self-righteous, is the dinosaur type. Yeah. And the dragon type, who is selfish and greedy, who is the enemy type. But both of them are enemies because both of them would never want to suffer for the sake of enduring evil for the long time, for the love of peace. They only want to learn a lesson. Learn a lesson for what? Learn a lesson that I have to have my freedoms removed for somebody else's happiness. So this is very bad. And the body of Christ and the church, I want them to have a copy of this video. I'm going to put it on my SIM card. Because God says if you're not going to be intolerant of Christ and be ashamed of Christ and embarrassed of Christ, then you're a fool. They don't understand what it means to be persecuted. Why would they want to add to that persecution? So, for example, I noticed what they did just to cyberbully me. They set me up with one of these 3 bodies. I don't know which one. Either the solicitor lawyer who I was subscribed to, somebody from the Parliament of London, or somebody who is a Catholic boss. And they didn't like the idea that I took screenshots because I have short-term memory loss, which is a medical condition. So they're making some bizarre accusation. Oh, why are you taking screenshots of us? And often if I do take a screenshot, it has some writing on there, like a writing from the subtitles, and then I take a screenshot to try and remember what it was about. And I like to organise my albums that have been muddled up and deleted and blanked out and blocked. So I'm not allowed to use it for my education purposes. And to continue it is to enable me to finish what I started. So it's not about you, it's about me. I'm the one who's the injured party. I'm the one who's suffering more than you. So therefore, you betrayed me. And I knew that like many months ago. And I think it's retaliation too. So if I feel like someone's like my brother, but that brother wanted sex, or that someone's like my father, but that father wanted sex, they're smooth criminals, such eloquence. Why would they want to put up with me? They don't even find me attractive. I'm fat and ugly according to them, so why don't they go and pick on someone else? I wasn't out to impress anybody. In conclusion, in closing the video, what I'm talking about. I just wanted to have more purity, and that's another thing on the list. Don't use Facebook or YouTube if you expect purity, because you'll be surrounded by perverts who are going to seduce you and misrepresent you and invade your privacy. I already mentioned the privacy bit. So to look for a marriage partner as a disabled person seems impossible unless you are super rich and you have very super rich friends. So I don't have their voice. I don't have their eloquent, posh words. Very different. Not always nice. I'm not nasty. But I'm not always nice. I just want to make my life more simple. Not more danger. And not more bad stress. So even if they had a letter from my GP, even then, they would make up stories about me. They've mastered smear campaigns. So obviously I need to trust someone to label them or title them as a family member, as a friend. That could either progress to be a romantic interest or not progress at all, only remain as a platonic friend. But since they have said I was too weak, and they didn't believe in God, they said I was too weak to have a baby or to look for a marriage partner. That is patronizing. That is also intimidating, to have someone push you in the corner and say, get over there, you're good for nothing, retard. So I didn't really want to impress anybody, but every time I opened my mouth, I didn't want to hold anything back when it comes to seeking the truth, since the truth sets me free. And that's why they're telling so many lies about me, because they want me in prison forever for their accusation and their insults. So, in closing, I wonder, did I make a bad mistake in talking about God on YouTube? Since I've spoken as a Christian, if you are a Christian, devout, that loves to read the Bible every day, like me, you shouldn't really use YouTube or Facebook. That's why I'm doing only one video on this channel. Don't bother working for that, because I did. I'm not a money grabbing, gold digging type of priestess or preacher. And nobody has me on the grounds of some type of a lump or a bump on the road on the journey. I would die before wanting to ask money from someone, or for someone to give me charity without care. Because it is useless to have charity without care. It's lying, it's deceiving, it's pseudo-crooked. How can I change? So for doing the right thing, I would be punished. For saying thank you, I would be punished. For not being popular or playful enough or pretty enough, I would be punished. And so what's the point of using YouTube? And I've already said it was because I didn't want to hear the pests coming out in the summer when they come through the window, that they do for anyone. I didn't want to hear the horrible noise pollution. So it was mainly using it for watching films, for documentaries, for finding someone that's similar to what I find interesting, and also preaching about God. And I think I probably made a mistake there, because no matter how nice, people are not going to listen to it. They're going to say I'm the same as a Jehovah's Witness, but I'm not, because I never force myself on anyone. They could either listen to my video or not. Oh, go away, annoying pest. What was that? Sounded like a mosquito. So, yeah, they are very, very horrible. Similar to snakes, frogs, amphibians, frogs, false prophets, preachers, priestesses. As for the marriage partner or a suitable partner for life, I'm not using dating agencies. Nope. And so I think I'm going to close this video now, because what would be my conclusion? And no, I am not naked. I've got clothes on. I have got clothes on. My conclusion. I don't like liars. If I had to choose to remember this, the enemy is the liar. The possible friend are those who are, we call them robbers, thieves. But I used to say I hate thieves more than the liars, because they have humiliated me. But who has humiliated me more, the liars or the thieves? So the thieves have humiliated me more. The dinosaurs, not the dragons. So from my own category, my own type of personality as the oldest prophet, whose name was Job, yeah, he was guarded in heaven. Why do I have to suffer? Why do I have to be confronted by hell and all my family members dead? And the answer was, why did you, God, allow this to happen? God responded, his life was given back to him. It was the devil that took it away from him. So when we say God gives and God takes away, no, it was the devil that took away. Since Job claimed to tell God what to do, and Job had claimed that he was a type of a goddess, so was I. He always wanted to be self-righteous, and he would know what was like a know-it-all. Perfect. But also very stubborn, until I had to crawl through I had to crawl through the window or the wall after it has been shelled and bombed to get to have another life. Yeah. And so that was me. And I've become very humble. I'm from the dinosaurs type. Like God says, Job, you're like a dinosaur. Stay away from the dragons. Yeah, the dragons are supposed to be the enemies. It's ridiculous, really. The very thing that they say is supposed to be sociable, it should be forbidden because it's antisocial. And the extravagance of using technologies only for people that have money, and those who have not the money or unable to work because of ill health and limitations, they're handicapped and disabled and stuck on the street, homeless, without any civil rights or freedoms. But God says, my grace and mercy is enough. That's all you need. And my strength comes into your own weakness. And that's how I remember reflecting on the Bible. And this is my life, to be of good cheer. Even when I have limitations, even when I have an accident, even when I'm abused, even when I have oppositions, even when I am weak, even when I have been broken, bones or heart, God has made me want to live. And if I die, God will give me another life after death. That's how I close my video. I'm known as Maya Maria. I also have a new name, Mima. And in fact, I'm glad I did this because the enemy, who is the devil and the hell angel, has pushed me to my knees to beg from my enemy while they're high and mighty and arrogant. First of all, in closing, I don't think it's a gift to have to beg God, please remove the hell angel from me. And second of all, even if I tell them be removed, be gone, it will run after me or hit me harder. And third of all, it would want to tell me how to live my life as a slave master. So this is the result of using social media. So I am glad to just have one video on this channel and gradually become stronger. Because I want to fear God and Christ in my life. In conclusion, more than the hell angel. I want the holy angels to take over and acknowledge that I don't believe what they believe. And if they want to crush a butterfly, and if they want to be self-righteous, let them. I'm not interested. Well, I just want Jesus Christ to say, well done. Since Jesus died for me, I will die for him in order to live with him. And just take over. That's right. And this is based in 2 Corinthians towards the 11th and 12th. What a relief. It's a spiritual food. And it's a conclusion why I only want one video on my channel, because I'm not allowed to be creative. If I was employed, if I had a big family, if I wasn't with these points I've mentioned, crippled and very sicky, then I could use it. But most people don't want to know when people suffer, or they only want to be entertained. And I'm saying, well, it is entertainment, but it's mainly also finding friends. But that's forbidden, because you can't really find friends. They'll mock you and insult you and say, this is not for making friends. This is for challenging you and competing with you only, and entertaining you only. That's it. And so I'm handicapped, I'm disabled, and again, I repeat, I was pushed to my knees to have to beg from the enemy. And, to survive. To say you're not really a lone survivor. And I think they're pathetic. They've hijacked my paradise, my home, my sanctuary, my safe space, that they could probably take over. And then they'll say, oh, you've imagined it. I hadn't imagined it. And if I am paranoid, it's the type of paranoia and fear of a good type of fear, where you have to run away from a bear or some predator, which is humiliation. It's not only about myself. It's ridiculous that most people cannot be honest. They see honesty as weakness. So that's my conclusion. No, I'm not imagining it. I want to reveal this, that it's not a mystery. The big heads who make extravagant, exaggerating lies, which is the hell angel. Compared to heaven angels, we seek the truth, the plain truth, and nothing but the truth. For salvation, but unspeakable, not spoken of. People don't like heroes. Even being a hero is not popular, it's not fashionable. So again, it's humiliating. So this is the street, being streetwise and encounter people on the street. And it's also, it's a subject that is hard to talk about. Most people think that it's trivial, it's not important. So what if I'm telling lies every day? But lies actually hurt people. It can cause people to lose their homes, their livelihoods, their children. Lies are even more dangerous than weapons, of small weapons or big weapons. That's how I close my video. I don't have sexual disorders. I don't have all these bad disorders. I'm not a crook. I don't steal. Unless I'm on drugs. But I've never taken any creative drugs. However, I want to humble myself and say, God, cut me down. Limit me. So that you will be the one who is noticed more than me. Because it's not only about me. I want to bring people this matter, this subject to attention. To capture people's souls out of hell. Because they're seized. Stuck there. Another type of reality, another type of word, apart from what I've already said. The horrible begging an enemy to survive. It's humiliating. Or having to be forced to swim in the river full of poo. Or hanging on the cross. Your blood dripping. In a horrific death of a car crash, for example. How did Jesus say, I'll see you in paradise, I'll see you in heaven? In a horrific blood gushing out of him. How did he do it? Jesus is amazing. He's an innocent man that died. Didn't need to be. And this is all because of lies. And envy. Jealousy. The selfish dinosaurs. Nope. So those who insulted Jesus, we call the Jews, I think they were the Pharisees, they're as the dragons. Those others, who are the Roman Italians, were as the dinosaurs. The Europeans. Yeah, the dinosaurs. And that's how I close my video, to say it's not only about me. I want people to think that I'm not all high and mighty. It is God who is almighty. And if I'm angry, I quickly have to give my anger to God. And if I'm in danger, I quickly have to ask God to help me. Remove my fear and remove my anger, frustration. This is what my video is about in closing. And I'm now going to unbound and remove the chains in closing with a smile on my face to say that this video has helped me a lot, because I know that God could remove all those chains from me in regards to frustration, anger and fear. And bad luck. The bad luck devil is actually of the dinosaurs. More so than those who are insulting you and gossiping badly about you as the dragons. Yeah, they cause bad luck, but the one that causes even more bad luck, well, according to those who would kill you, as the Roman soldiers who killed Christ. That is bad luck. Yeah. So I'm not lying. I want to remember. I was crawling. I was at the death door and I stopped crawling. That was only three or 4 years ago. And yeah, why would they want to arrest me for taking a screenshot? If I had 600 or 800 screenshots, so what? I'm disabled. I've got more time on my hands. Why would they want to arrest me for saying that I'm not grateful enough to my housing officials? I was. Why would they want to arrest me for saying I'm not interested in having a relationship with someone who doesn't respect me and doesn't respect God? Why would they want to arrest me for these wrong reasons? Simply for doing videos on my channel. So these were the bad encounters, as if I was encountering a grey alien. One rule for them, another rule for the rich, another one for the poor. And it's an unfair challenge and competition. It really is. So I'm closing, definitely closing. And whoever did want to get to know me, I just don't want to say. I don't have any. What should I say sorry about? So yeah, in closing, definitely now. Returning to the question, did I make a mistake in proclaiming who God is? In returning to the closing of the narrative or the moral or the whole point of this video. Should I apologize and be sorry for saying I love Jesus and I'm a Christian and I love God? I love my privacy. I love my human rights. Should I apologize for that? I mean, what? This is really ridiculous now. Why would they want to incriminate me for that? It's very upsetting for a moment. And please, I ask God to pardon me, for I feel I have failed and not made a positive difference. People felt more negative about God because of me, because of my suffering, or because they felt my pain and it made them uncomfortable. So that's what it is. Or they felt they were not good enough. Yeah, I did make them feel that they're not good enough. That is it. Because I said I'm better than you. Oh, shoot. So I've just answered my own question. Yep. I was saying I'm better than you, I'm not this and I'm not that. However, there was times when I was worse than them. Definitely. So I can't claim full credit as a goddess. So I've answered my own question because I was very tired. It was past my bedtime asking the question to help me out. God supplied all my needs and I was very careful not to burden anybody. Very, very quiet. But then when I realized that what I had said, you're not good enough to be my friend, or I'm not good enough to be your friend, or something like that, who's going to put up with my suffering? I think that was my mistake. And people have misunderstood me. Or they have spread disinformation about me, because very rarely that was the case. Very rare. To change the question, is it going to inconvenience you when I say that most of the time I please God. I don't care about being a people pleaser. And I don't care about the fact that I have said I'm better than you. But I do care about it if it's made someone lose their faith. Because I did correct myself also to say that, yes, I have done very bad things, probably worse things than you. Yeah. I've opened up a lot in this video, honestly, and I don't know what the neighbours think about me. They're not there. They're not there to protect me. I'm not gallivanting the streets. I'm housebound. Yeah. So, close. What will the future be? Que sera, que sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, que sera.